Countries to be declared free of COVID-19. The novel coronavirus, which causes COVID-19, has scientists and decision makers across the globe in knots. Its nature is indeed novel. So little is known, and researchers are learning every day. Every government is trying its best to deal with it, some though more successfully. These successful ones are strictly following the rules laid down, after consultation with experts and then molding them to local conditions. As of now, 8 countries have successfully freed themselves from COVID-19. All of these are small nations, and this fact has helped them to a great extent. But credit must still be given to them, as other small ones are still fighting hard. Most of the 8 became COVID-free in May. The criteria they followed for declaring themselves COVID-free was that there were no active cases recorded for at least 15 days prior to the date on which the declaration was made. Until now, these 8 have managed to hold on to their own. The most prominent country till date to declare itself COVID-free was New Zealand, whose health ministry, followed by the Prime Minister, made the announcement on June 8, after nearly a month without a case. However, as bad luck would have it, officials announced on Tuesday, June 16, that 2 women from the United Kingdom tested positive after travelling to New Zealand to see a dying relative. Health officials are trying to find out how they caught the virus. As we said in the beginning, the very fact that the virus is called novel carries with it a lot of significance. There's still a lot to learn about its behavior. Let's now take a look at the 8 nations which have successfully fought the novel coronavirus. Fiji. Fiji declared itself free of COVID-19 by April 20, after all of its 18 cases recovered. The island nation of about 9.4 lakh people had reported its first case on March 19. Fiji banned flights from certain countries, imposed a 15-day mandatory quarantine for people arriving, and closed schools and non-essential businesses. Papua New Guinea. The Pacific nation of Papua New Guinea declared itself free of the novel coronavirus on May 4. Its first case was detected on March 20. The country of about 72.6 lakh people reported only 8 cases. Papua New Guinea had banned travellers from Asia and closed its border with Indonesia. The government also introduced tough curbs, including a night curfew and ban on public gatherings and public transport. TimorLeste. On May 15, TimorLeste, formerly East Timor, reported the recovery of its 24th and final confirmed COVID-19 case. The island country of about 13.84 lakh people in Southeast Asia reported its first case as early as March 21st. It put travel restrictions in place for non-nationals who had visited China as early as February 10. Schools were closed, public gatherings were limited to 5, and all international arrivals quarantined for 14 days. Eritrea. The East African country of Eritrea, with a population of about 60.8 lakh, announced it had 0 active cases on May 15. The country had just 39 cases, with the first case, a resident returning from Norway, being reported on March 21. In April, the country went into lockdown. Seychelles. The Indian Ocean island nation of Seychelles declared itself coronavirus-free on May 18. The country of about 96,000 people had reported just 11 cases, with the first 2 on March 14. Wasting no time, the Seychelles announced a temporary ban on cruise ships, along with any travel to China, South Korea, Italy and Iran. A travel ban came into effect on April 8. St. Kitts and Nevis. The West Indian island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis became free of COVID-19 on May 19, when all of its 15 confirmed cases recovered. This nation, of a little less than 54,000 people, recorded its first case on March 24. As part of containment measures, it closed its airports, schools, and non-essential businesses, besides ordering a curfew and mandatory wearing of masks. Montenegro. Montenegro declared itself free of the virus on May 24. In the first week of June, it threw open its land borders as well. The country of about 6.1 lakh people was the last European country to report a case of COVID-19 on March 17, and its total numbers reached 324. Besides making masks mandatory, the nation, with a population of a little over 6 lakh, had closed businesses and placed limits on public gatherings and travel. Vatican City. Vatican City, formerly called the Holy See, announced that it had 0 COVID-19 cases on June 6, after all of its 12 cases recovered. The tiny jurisdiction within Rome, with a resident population of just 1,000, had acted swiftly, closing its tourist attractions.